What's up guys, so today I'll be explaining each of the legends found in Apex Legends Mobile and their different abilities. So first up we have Bloodhound.
The day is mine.
So Bloodhound's passive is Tracker. Foes leave behind clues for you to find. So as you can see this demonstration, an enemy ran across and a clue that was left there was that his footprints was there like a couple seconds ago. So that's his passive. Now, his tactical is called Eye of the Allfather. Briefly reveal enemies, traps, and clues to all the structures in front of you. So he sends out this beacon, this scan, and this scan reveals the enemies that are in front of you at a short distance, and it highlights the enemies. And now his ultimate is Beast of the Hunt. Become the ultimate hunter. See cool tracks and move faster with your enhanced senses. Knockdowns extend the duration. So basically, he becomes this beast, like this supersonic. He enters this supersonic state, and everything becomes gray, and his enemies are highlighted with bright colors, and you can see their footsteps clearly, and he moves faster as well. So that's it for Bloodhound. He's more of a recon legend. He gathers information, but he can also be used for aggressive plays. Moving on, we have Bangalore.
Pistols to artillery. I can do it all. Your call.
Bangalore's passive is called Double Time. Taking fire while sprinting makes you move faster for a brief time. So if you're running and you're getting shot at, you will run faster for a short period of time. So it's going to be used to evade enemy fire. So it helps for you to not get killed. Her tactical is called Smoke Launcher. Fire a high velocity smoke canister that explodes into a smoke wall on impact. So she has this smoke, and once again it can be used to screen the enemy's view, so you can block enemy's view and you can escape, or you can block enemy's view and you rush them. So it depends on your playstyle, but it can be used either way. Now Bangalore's ultimate is called Rolling Thunder. Calling an artillery strike that slowly creeps across the landscape. So she calls in this cluster strike, but it's a very broad surface area, and it looks like it deals a lot of damage. So most likely, if you get caught in Bangalore's artillery strike, you will die. So once again, you can use this to bombard an area and run, or to bombard and then enemies to kill them. Moving on, we have Octane.
My legs are ready
Now,
to go.
this
assembly
is a
required.
sweat legend. So Octane's passive is called Swift Mend. While not taking damage, you restore health over time. So basically, his health regenerates on its own if you're not taking damage for a period of time. So his HP regenerates over time when not taking damage. Now, Octane's tactical is Stim. Now, I'm pretty sure we are familiar with the Stim in Warzone. It's basically the same concept here. Increase walk speed by 30% and sprint speed by 40% for 6 seconds. Cost health to use. Reduction slows while active. So there's a trade-off. If you use the Stim, you run faster, but at the same time, you lose a little bit of health. You can run faster, but you also lose health. This Octane's legend is very useful for rushers. He's high energy legend. He can run fast. He's very good legend for sweats. Now we also have his ultimate, which is the jump pad. Deployable jump pad that catapults users through the air. Users can press jump in mid-air to double jump. So he places down this jump pad, it launches him up in the air, so you can gain an air ability over your enemies. And also while you're in the air, you can jump again to give you an extra little boost, so you can go a little bit higher. So this is useful to reach high to reach places, to escape from the enemy, or to also rush the enemy. Moving on, we have Gibraltar. Now, Gibraltar is a very defensive heavy legend. So Gibraltar's passive is gun shield. Aiming down sights deploys a gun shield that blocks incoming fire. So you have this shield that blocks fire. It's pretty straightforward. Moving on, he has tactical, which is called Dome of Protection. Blocks incoming and outgoing attacks. So he places this shield that is in the shape of a dome, and once you're inside the shield, the enemy's bullets cannot penetrate through the shield, and also if you're trying to shoot enemy, the bullet cannot penetrate through the shield. Now, Gibraltar's ultimate is defensive bombardment. Similar to I think it was Bangalore's, who calls in cluster strike. So he calls in a concentrated mortar strike on a position you mark with smoke. So Gibraltar's cluster strike seems to be a less surface area than Bangalore, and it also seems to deal less damage. So once again, you can cover a side of the map and while you run. So as I said, Gibraltar is a very defensive heavy legend. Moving on, we have Lifeline. Lifeline is the ultimate team player. Her passive is Combat Revive. Deploy, dock to revive teammates, leaving Lifeline free to defend. So if you're running Lifeline and one of your teammates get down, you just simply deploy this drone called Dock, and that drone will revive your teammates for you, leaving you free to do other things. Lifeline's tactical is called Dock Heal Drone. The Drone of Compassion, Dock, it's a nice abbreviation, automatically heals those near it over time. So she's a medic. She deploys this drone, and this drone heals her and her teammates over time. Her ultimate is called Care Package, calling a drop pod full of high quality defensive gear. So she calls in her own care package, and this package has loot that is defensive minded. So I also assume that teammates can also gather loot from this care package. So as I said, she's a very team based legend, perfect for people who rather help their teammates than take the fights themselves. Moving on, we have Pathfinder. So Pathfinder is a robot, and Pathfinder's passive is called Insider Knowledge. Scan a survey beacon to reduce the cooldown of zipline gun. So Pathfinder can go to these beacons and he surveys them, and it reveals him where the ring will close next. So he basically knows the location of the next zone. So he can move before, or he can, keep those who are coming in from the zone. So Pathfinder's tactical is called Grapple. Grapple to get out of reach places quickly. So he basically has a grapple hook that he can deploy to gain high ground from enemies, which is always important in the battle, to gain the high ground. So he can do that quite easily with his grapple hook. Zipline gun, which is his ultimate. Create a zipline for anyone to use. So he can create ziplines for himself, his teammates, or enemies to use. So you can grapple from ground to the top of a building, or vice versa. But it allows him to reach high places. Moving on, we have Wraith. Now, Wraith is also a legend that a lot of sweats like to use. Wraith's passive is called Voices from the Void. You hear a voice when danger approaches. As far as you can tell, it's on your side. So her character will tell you when danger is close. For example, if you have played Call of Duty Mobile, you know that when a sniper is there, the character usually calls it out, says sniper. So you know that sniper is there. So this is the same thing with Wraith. She calls out when enemies are near, if there is a sniper looking at you, stuff like that. So it gives you intel. It helps you to be alert, to have an awareness. We have Wraith's tactical, which is called Into the Void. Reposition quickly through the safety of the void space, avoiding all damage.
Phasing.
So if you're taking heavy fire and you're about to die, you can take evasive measures using this space called the void. While you're in this space, you cannot take damage from anything.
Phasing.
So you can use it to, as I said, escape quickly. Or I guess you can also use it to push enemies, because when you're in the void, you run a little bit faster. So it's very good to flank enemies, to reposition, I should say. Now Wraith's ultimate is called Dimensional
Placing a
Rift.
portal.
Link 2 locations with portals for 60 seconds.
Portal.
So Wraith can create these portals that anyone can go through.
Portal
But these
placed.
portals can only last for 60 seconds. Moving on, we have Caustic. Now, Caustic's passive is called Nox Vision. You gain threat vision on enemies moving through your gas. So you deploy this gas, and once your enemies are in the gas, you can see them very easily. And they also take minimum damage from the gas as well. So it allows you to see your enemies better and at the same time reduce damage. Now, his tactical is called NAS Gas Trap. Place up to 6 canisters that release deadly NAS gas when shot or triggered by enemies. So he can set up these traps around the map or where he's fighting, and these traps can be triggered by enemies, and the enemies will take damage from these traps. So you can use it to, gather intel, because once these traps are triggered, you will know the enemy is near. Now his ultimate is called Nox Gas Grenade. Blanket a large area in Nox gas. So he has this gas that covers a large area and deals damage to his enemies. This will probably be one of the least used legends, because I don't really see much of a benefit using him, but I might be wrong, and it's all up to your playstyle as well. Now lastly, we have Mirage. So Mirage's passive is called Now You See Me. Automatically cloak when using respawn beacons and reviving teammates. So if your teammate gets down and you go to revive your teammate, you will become invisible, and also your teammate will become invisible. So this can be very useful in life or death situations. When you are down, or when your teammates are down and you go to revive them, you become invisible. That's very useful. When you're respawning your teammates, you also become invisible. Now his tactical is called Psych Out. Send out holographic decoy to confuse the enemy. Press the button to control the decoy. So he has this decoy, he sends out to potentially trick your enemy, and not only does he have a decoy, but he can also control the decoy. So he can control where the decoy is going and so forth. So it's very useful to bamboozle your enemies. While they shoot at the beacon, they're distracted, and you can flank them and shoot at them. So Mirage's ultimate is Life of the Party. Mirage deploys a team of controllable decoys to distract enemies. So like his passive, which is only one decoy, in his ultimate he has 5 decoys. So the enemy is more easily distracted. And so that's all the legends in the game so far. I am certain that they will probably add more, but these are all the legends in the game at the moment. We have 11 legends. And if you go here, we have the different categories that they fall into. So we have, this is, I guess, Recon or Scout. So we have Bloodhound and Pathfinder in this category. We have the Medic, or it's basically the only Medic. We have Lifeline, more defensive heavy legends, which are Gibraltar and Caustic. And then we have the Rushers, the Attackers, and these legends are Bangalore, Octane, Wraith, and Mirage. So that's it all. I hope you enjoy, and if you did, like and subscribe. Thank you.
This video is brought to you by Mr. Obnoxious. Subscribe if you haven't already.